So good morning. We have today very important guests. We have Alfred and Alisa from Astelan Speaker Manufacturers in Estonia. So good morning to all our readers at D-Town, and good morning, Alisa and Alfred. Thank you for joining.
Good morning.
Okay, so thank you for taking the time for this interview for our readers. I know that Astelan has quite a landmark in audiophile in the industry and in speakers in particular, of course. So we would like to start with the interview. And first off, if you could tell us a little bit about the Astelan brand, how the company was born, and the story behind it.
Yes, thank you for your question. So first of all, this year we're celebrating 10 years, and it's a very important milestone for us. But actually the story behind Astelan is much longer than these 10 years that we're celebrating. So it actually goes back to 1960s when Alfred was a young boy. He loved music, and he grew up in a family who really loved music. So there was lots of singing, and they played musical instruments. But Alfred, as a young boy, of course, he was also interested in all those technical aspects, like how does the sound come out from a box? So he was breaking radios, speakers, trying to understand how they are built, and actually made some of them even better. So he took his interest further to the university and studied electroacoustics and ultrasound in St. Petersburg. And after that, he was invited to a big radio manufacturer at that time who was producing high-end radios. So at the same time, why I am speaking here today is that two young girls were growing up in Alfred's home, and also surrounded by music. We also broke radios and speakers like Alfred, but of course we didn't become engineers. But instead, I'm the CEO of the company today, and Alfred is the chief designer and founder of the company. So this interest that I got from my home and that Alfred got from his home, this helped us to create Astelan company in 2010. Basically, after Alfred graduated from university and started working at that big manufacturer, that was his first, let's say, commercial speaker project. But when Soviet Union collapsed, Alfred had his own lab and developing more than 100 different speaker models for other companies. But since I went to university to study business and management, I kind of felt that I actually want to do something, myself. And I had a good opportunity because I had father with brilliant ideas. And we thought that we should actually try to do this project on our own, not to offer it to any other manufacturers. So in 2010, we had lovely Sunday breakfast with the family, and Alfred introduced his secret project. So we decided to set up a company, and this is where Astelan was born. That was, this pancakes and coffee and good speaker designs. Exactly. Yeah. So from there it all started, but of course there's a longer story behind all the R&D that was started then, but that will be something that Alfred can tell you later on.
Okay, great. Sounds very interesting. Thank you. I think it's safe to say that there's a quite significant conception in the audio world that the Astelan brand came to notice with the introduction of the X model. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, it's again long story. It's because it was started years and years with accumulated experience. But this project really was started approximately 5 years before this Astelan brand name founded. I have, as Alisa says, good experience with building and designing different models with different materials, different drivers, components, etc. And one side what helped to make these decisions was participate in one installation company where I had rich experience with building the sound in the room. And yes, during 25 years I was learning, and finally I have this decision that these instruments or these decisions what I have, it's not enough to create something interesting, something really good. And yeah, I create this conception like X models from our model range. And this idea was to create a speaker what successfully or playing very good or reproduce the music in real living room, where we have the floor, there's walls, ceiling. What all this is one of the part of this sound building. And for these conditions, we are create this ideology. It's I can say that our speakers is built from inside, from the engineering. Before it was created conception. After this conception has this enclosure and drivers. And what about enclosure? Yes, this is an idea to create this body would help to reproduce the sound. And why we have this curved surfaces? We have no parallel walls inside. It helps to have pure sound from each driver without no internal resonances with very low diffractions. And we have very good controlled directional characteristics. And for this, we was needed a special material because we was needed a very strong enclosure without internal resonances with very good dampening, internal dampening. And this material we need to produce like pieces by pieces. It means that we need the technology for this. And actually, during 5 years, we was developing this special material and processes. This is a marble-based composite material. And yes, for this conception, we was chosen drivers. And drivers, yes, it's ceramic drivers mostly. But we was created conception, and after this, we was looking for the drivers. And we stayed with Akuton, a German company drivers. It's, because it's good for us with different parameters. One of these is, for example, ceramic membranes. And we use the ceramic membranes, ceramic sandwich construction, aluminum sandwich constructions, and diamond membranes. Is what we use in our technique. So yes, this very good engineering, very good building of these components, and this ceramic or diamond or sandwich membranes is enough stiff, light, is good internal dampening. Of course, a pure ceramic drivers, it's maybe not so easy not easy to use, of course, but we have our own secrets how preparing this sound completely.
Okay, thank you for that elaborate answer. What do you think has changed in the high-end speaker R&D and manufacturing that we see today? For instance, the components that you're using in your speakers and the composites are very, very sophisticated, very high tech. These are things that we have not encountered, say 10 or 15 years ago. So what do you think has changed in the R&D in speaker manufacturing today as opposed to the past?
Yes, as you say, that components, that's one of the reasons why. It's because totally all technologies, including these materials for the enclosure, materials for the drivers, materials for the electrical components, it's changed. It's not stay in the one place. It's develop all time. And this is the one reason. It's because our suppliers or our partners not stay on one place. It's R&D. It's happening every day mostly. And of course, with these technological processes and some soft for the development give us our for new possibility. And one important thing is that electronics, for example, is developed in this time. It's make our work more transparent. It's in one side it's new new demanded for our equipment, and second part and second side it's make more transparent, give me for us to listen more details, and that make the steps for developing in this direction.
Thank you. In terms of manufacturing, is everything today, you find it different? Is it more, do you think that it is more mechanical or using robots or automated? Or do you feel that the high-end industry in specific still relies on high quality hand-built products?
It's two answers, yes and no. Yes, is because if new process, new materials and technologies permit to use the robots or create something special, yes. For example, we use some details with 3D printing. Why not? It's robots. But another side, it's stay all mostly like handmade, because it's very similar with creating musical instruments, tools. It's very individual, and some components are produced by tens or hundreds pieces, no more. It's not possible for mainly for these components to use some very high-tech technology processes. I mean this assembling. So for example, our enclosures make by hand, and molded by hand, finishing by hand. It's not possible to use in this process because we use all best, all unique what we can have today to produce or develop our speakers.
Okay, thank you. What is it that you think that leads the high-end speaker industry to such constantly rising costs and prices that we see in speakers, in amplifiers, and so forth? What do you think? What's your perspective on the things that influence high costs in high-end speakers in particular?
And of course, we want to make the speaker with possibly low price, but we have limitations because I will see that we use the best possible components, and usually it's part of this, it's handmade. This price can't be low, and because this handmade processes stay in this industry, we can't to find cheaper. And of course, this R&D cost is quite high. This is experience for years. This is years for the R&D processes, different sites. We want to make cheaper, but we can't.
Yeah, quality products usually carry the proper price tag. Understood. Thank you. How do you see the high-end world in the years to come? Things are changing constantly, especially, for instance, take this past year, which has flipped the world upside down and switch our reality. So how do you see the industry in the years to come?
Well, yeah. So, first of all, what we see happening is that people prefer to have higher quality products. So, which is actually good for our industry, of course, because we are after this quality. And so we see more and more younger people actually wanting something which is more permanent. And if they invest in this system, it has to be good. So, and another thing that we noticed, and well, we see this becoming more and more important, is the design. So it seems that you can't really, be successful with only good sound quality. So you really have to pay attention on the design, because if in the past it was simply a box in the room somewhere in the corners playing music, then today it's part of the interior. So we see that people appreciate design more and more, and this is actually one of our strategies, obviously, as well, that we have really paid attention to both. One is sound quality, as Alfred said. We actually started from building the engineering of the speaker, so from inside, and then came the design. So luckily we just have a person who can do engineering and design two in one. But we really feel that this is very, very important, because Alfred would never want to build something that he doesn't like in the appearance. So and this is a trend that we see, that design is becoming also very, very important nowadays.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Another trend that yes, this in this industry, like in the cars, for example, or some another, these new decisions or technological steps, what we use in our flagship models, day by day come to these more affordable speakers, and this top quality slowly but go to these more affordable prices. And this performance with designs, it's of course it's go to more closer to the customers.
Thank you. What can you tell us about new things that are happening in Astelan? Are we to expect any new models, any new surprises coming up?
This is always a very tricky question.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, definitely. I mean, I see Alfred working constantly. Sometimes I have to remind him to take some break, because I mean, engineers, they just have ideas in their head all the time, and they need to implement them. So yes, something is coming. Definitely. But as we are celebrating our 10th anniversary this year, so First of all, we started with announcing our latest flagship speaker Forza in a very special finish. So it's an anniversary edition. There are only 10 pairs available in the world. And
Wow.
so it features Alfred's signature and some very, very special finishing. So this is one important, again, milestone for us to introduce this product. Secondly, starting from this year, we have MK2 products coming out of our existing line. And so it's starting to reach different markets around the world. And again, we were able to take the knowledge from Forza development now to our existing models, which means that, as Alfred said, that our goal is to make things more affordable. I mean, we want to do that. And I think that in some ways we achieved that, because now all our products are being upgraded to the latest developments. And the new products that we started this answer with, they also incorporate all the knowledge from the latest Forza development. So which means that we are able to bring the higher quality to a more affordable level. And this is, I think, the goal of every high-end loudspeaker manufacturer. And this is what we're working on daily.
I have to say I totally agree, and it is always appreciated as a reviewer when I review mid-level models of high-end manufacturers. It's always appreciated to see the top-of-the-line technology being implemented from flagship models to mid-level models. That's always appreciated. And if that is the case with Astelan, then it's great, and thank you. Where do you see Astelan in the next 10, 15, 20 years? Where do you see Astelan in the future?
Yeah, we'd like to see Astelan being as one of the leading players in the industry. So when people look at our products, they know that this is something that shows the level of audio performance. And we really want to create something, even the new models in the future, that are like etalons that show what audio industry can actually do.
Yeah, not only by performance, but quality of the building, finishing, and usable, friendly models, and etc.
Well, I would have to agree. The X Diamond that I had for review is long gone and has returned to our local dealer. But in terms of finishes, I do have to agree. Seeing it up close in my own environment at home, the level of finish and detail is exquisite, and it was of great satisfactory. I have to say, my time with that speaker, and I was a little bit sorry to see it go. But the level of detail and finish is very, very highly appreciated, very exquisite.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's straight up compliment. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for joining us for this interview. This will be great for our D-Town readers. Anything else you would like to share and say before we say goodbye for today?
Yes, first of all, thank you for this opportunity, and we're really excited that we have entered Israel market. So it's very interesting for us. So we really hope that that your readers will find your review interesting to read, and that they will actually love the product. So so we really hope that that it will be a good success in Israel.
Yeah, we wait our new partners for our Astelan family.
Yep, that was a great announcement, and hopefully maybe we can see you visit in our upcoming shows. once the world gets back to normal, we'll be happy to have you.
Thank you. Would love
Thank
to.
you. With pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.